Okay, hi everyone. Hi, my name is Marty Carapiet. This is my lovely wife, Debbie.
Hi.
And this is, of course, my Allen 10-wheeler. And it's named Levi. I named it after my nephew, Levi. And what I'm doing here today is going to explain to you how the engine runs, but Debbie and I have decided to donate our 10-wheeler to the Sacramento Valley Live Steamers. And we hope that by our donation that the club can enjoy this machine that we have, and that the hobby will continue, and that young people will be able to enjoy it as well as old, and just have fun with it with their families. So the reason for the donation is I'm terminally ill, and I promised that when I finished this engine that I would donate this to our club as a gift. But there are some conditions to my donations, and I want to make sure that you understand that I put my heart and soul into this, and I want the machine taken care of. So I've decided that Don Youngling, who is a very close friend of mine, will be the trustee of the engine. The reason I've chosen Don to be the trustee is because I know that Don will make sure that this engine will be taken care of. At any point Don feels that the club is not taking care of the engine to my specifications, what I have requested the club to do and keep the train up, then he can has complete revocation to take this train and sell it off and to a private owner, and then give some of the proceeds back to the club. So that's not Don's wishes, and he doesn't wish to do that, and I don't wish for that to happen, and neither does Debbie. We want the club to enjoy this engine for life. That's really our heart and soul. But at the same time, we don't want it to be abused. So I've made that perfectly clear with the board, and Don has graciously stepped forward to take that responsibility. And then he's also taken the responsibility to find people that are interested in maintaining and taking care of the engine, making sure that the engine is not getting abused. So the reason for this is just because I've seen some things in the past at the club where things have been donated and they haven't been taken care of, and we just don't want that to happen to this. So I don't mean for a donation to have a bunch of stipulations on it, but I hope that everyone can understand that, you know, when you put your heart and soul into something and you donate it, that people will learn to respect it and take care of it. So with that, we're going to end that, and now we're going to take you through how to fire up the engine and the machine, and how to get it going, and how to blow it down and so forth. We're going to do this as a mock-up. We're not going to do it live. But it'll be a good presentation on how to get it going. With that, we want to thank everybody. We've enjoyed the club tremendously, and we're happy to be members, and we're just happy that the club is going to acquire this. So with that, thank you very much. All right, so here's our 10-wheeler right here. And I want to say that this is probably one of the easiest engines to run. The reason is the axle pump that is up here in the front absolutely keeps in sync with the amount of water that is needed. It keeps the glass half full without even using the injector or even using the steam pump. Okay? So it's basically when you turn on the fire and you put this on about 7.5 pounds, which is enough flame, and you turn on the gas here to start it with the flames right in here. If you keep the pressure at about 7 to 7.5 pounds, it's plenty of flame and fire to pull no more then 2 Sacramento Valley live steamer cars. So you can fit 4. You can put 1 up here, which is a padded seat that I have up here. And then when this comes off, you won't have to be taking this on and off all the time, because this will be connected to the back of this and stored inside the container where you're not doing this. The reason this was like this is because I had to do transportation. So, but this is not going to be necessary. And then I have, stay right there, I have this seat that goes here, that sits in the middle of this, and this goes on top like that. And then another pad that sits up here for another rider. So you can fit 4, 2 more is 10 plus the engineer. But that would be the maximum amount of people that you'd want to pull on this. And there'll be no double heading, because this is a very decorative piece. So this is not meant to be pulled or double headed with. Okay? It's strong, but I wouldn't want to see a double head. Okay? So let's not do any double heading at all. All right, so let's walk through firing it up. The first thing that you have to do is make sure that everything is closed. So if you come over here, these are the blow down knobs. These 2 right here are the blow down knobs. So here's one right here. When it's pulled out, it's open for blow down. When you pull this one out, it's open for blow down. This is the cylinder drain cocks. So when you first start up, you want this open for the first 50 yards. You want to be able to go and blow out all the water out of the cylinders, okay? So now we're going to, and then this, make sure that this is closed. Right here, this is your main fill valve. And then what you want to do here is you want to prime the axle pump. This is the first thing that you'll do. Just hook this up, okay? And then you'll notice that I have a quick hose disconnect here that just hooks up like that, okay? Let the water run through here, and the way that you'll tell that you're filling or you're coming up is you can either open this up a little bit to let the water come out of here, or you can open this one up, the glass right here, and see the water dripping out of it. As soon as you see water dripping out of it, you know that the axle pump is primed, okay? Then you're going to shut this, and you're going to take and disconnect this from here. And then you're going to put on your main water supply hose. So this is the only hose that you'll be taking on and off when this thing is connected. This is the only thing that you'll be disconnecting to do the priming of the water pump, okay? So this here is your propane, which goes right to here. You can see that. See here? Mm-hmm. You can tell because this is marked. That means it's a left-hand thread. And it's a propane fitting. So that goes to the propane here. And these two fit right like that to this right here. This is your main line. This is the return line in case you ever want to regulate the axle pump, then you would regulate it through this valve. So if you're getting too much water or too little water or too much water, you open this up and then it'll spit some back into the tender. Right. But like I said, it's so perfectly timed that you never end up opening this. You're going to see it when I run it, okay, at the club. This over here is the line for the injector, okay? And everybody knows how the injector works. You put the water on first, up here, open this, just cracking this, and then here's your injector starting valve right here. And you just open this up like that. And you regulate it by just adjusting this slightly. Yeah, so all of these lines will stay connected at all times, okay? And this obviously will be down off of this, so you never have to fool around with any of that. So then the next step is you can take this off right here, comes apart, and you'll screw this into here. If you come over here and you'll see it. This just goes into here, like that. Open this up, and I have this, again, the same hose. Just put it on there and fill it up and take it to the half glass, up to there. Once that's half glassed, shut this off, disconnect this, unscrew this, and put it all away. Now you've filled up the boiler halfway. Now you're ready to fire the engine. So you come back here, and this is inside here. Here's the main valve right here to turn on the turn the gas on. Here's your pressure regulator. So like I said, if you run this at about 7 to 7.5, it's plenty of fuel to get it on. To refill this tank, there's a bolt down here. See this bolt? And there's a wing nut right here. See this wing nut? You just undo this, take the bolt out, and there's a little slip thing in the back here that catches the tank. So you just pull this forward and tilt it up, and you fill it up vertical. Yep. And then you just slide it back in, and then put the bolt back in there like that. Okay? Yep. So then now you've got the gas turned on. And over here is your main valve for your gas. So just crank that a little bit, just a tiny bit open. Throw your stick thing that I got and light the fire. And then now you're going to just wait for everything to come up to, till you blow off the safeties, which is about 100, 110 pounds. It'll fire up, okay? This is the blower line. So you'll shut this before you light, let's back up. Before you light this, you want to take this is your external blower, put it in here, and just get it centered inside here, okay? And to just crack this open a little bit so you get the flame going, or get the draft going, then hit it with the fire. Okay, then start the fire right there. And then you can just close this up. This is your blower valve, so you just shut this off. Once you get to 60 PSI up here, you take that out and you turn on this blower line. And just crank it all the way open. Okay? This valve here is for the brakes. It's open. If you ever don't want to use the steam brakes, you don't have to, but I just, if you have a blow or something like that, this shut off the steam going into the steam brake valve. That obviously is off. This is brakes on. Okay? This over here is all your blow down. This is for your glass, to blow down your glass. These stay open all the time. And then if you want to shut your whistle off, this is your whistle valve right here. This will shut the whistle valve off. And that's your whistle right here. Just like that. If you're going to use the steam pump over here, come on this way over here, and you'll see a little tiny valve right here. What you want to do is open up this bleed line right here. See this? Then turn this on to let the air get out. Once the air gets out, turn this off, and then you'll see the pump will just go, it'll keep pumping. And you can regulate the amount of speed by how much you open this, all right? And then here's your oil for your filling your oil up, and this just opens up here, and you just use regular steam oil in this, okay? So I have 2 oil cans. This is whey oil in this can with this tip. You'll see the difference in tips. And this is steam oil. And we'll probably label these for you so you know which is which, okay? This is my steam oil right here. This you just use a coin or you can use a screwdriver, open it up, and fill this up every single time. Make sure you've got steam oil inside this.
Now, is full top of the glass, or do you fill it all the way?
You fill all the way to the top. And just make sure you got oil in this because this is the cylinder to oil the cylinders, okay? I put steam oil on here and the parts that go into the cylinders and into the steam chest, I end up putting steam oil on those parts. The rest of the engine, I use the whey oil, and then I'll go around and I'll just take the little heads off and put a little dab of oil in here. I'll dunk it in here. Then I'll stick this in here and I'll hit my straps. You'll see the eccentric straps in there. And then I'll hit my link blocks. My link blocks are hard to see from here, but the link blocks are the thing where the Stevenson valve gear goes up and down. And don't be afraid to put oil on these parts right here. You can see, can you see that there, Craig? See that block?
Yep.
Just soak these. Just soak it. Don't be afraid to put oil in those things. You want to keep them oiled all the time. So, and then that's it. And then, you know, I would say, if you're running this thing all day long, you know, I would say watch this level. And if you're going to run it all day long, about half the day, go around and hit the whey oil again and oil up everything again. You just keep it lubed. More oil, the better, as you know. So basically now you're done for the day. And so now you shut the fire, right? That's the easy part. Wait for the pressure to come down, you know, 20, 30 pounds PSI. Open up the blowdowns. Just let it blow down a little bit right here. They're on both sides, okay? Blow it down and then just let it cool down. And then when you want to drain the water out of everything, you've got this to open up if you'd like. And then the plug for the tender is here. See this? Right here? You see that, Craig, over here? This is the plug.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I have the plug, the actual copper plug. It's in the box. And you'll put that, obviously, you'll put that in first before you start filling water up in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I use this stuff right here. And I usually put a cap full of this in the beginning of the day. And I just put one little cap full in here. The reason I cut this hole here is because I couldn't see what I was filling up. So the screen's useless. Okay?
Yeah.
That's just the way it was. So, and then that's it. And then just blow it down and then just get all the water out of it. Take the cap off of here.
Let that drain out and dry.
Let this drain out. And then roll it into the place where they're going to store it at the club. And I have some custom covers that are coming that will fit over this and over this. Not this part. Okay? That's basically it. That's how simple it is. And again, very simple to operate. If you're sitting in the, let's say in the station and this, you know, the safeties are going off inject a little water, right, to shut it down a little bit. You won't need to use the injectors at all. But if you start to go and you see that this is not keeping up, by all means inject water, okay? The first sign you're going to want to do or look at is the axle pump, which is right there. You see that axle pump right here? If you take this out, you'll be able to slide this ram out, Craig.
Yeah.
And there's a little tiny O-ring in there. And I'll have all the O-rings there. This O-ring right now is 2 years old.
So it could be dried out.
It seems to be doing fine,
Okay.
but in case you don't see water being pumped by the pump, then that O-ring could be busted.
Yeah, and just bypass it.
And we just have to open it up and check it. So,
As a note, the O-rings and the seal kit for the compressors are in boxes that have other O-ring and seal kits in my shop.
yeah.
So if it goes bad, we will be taking it to my shop and we'll get the parts out. Because Marty's boxes what goes.
Yeah. Now I have lots of this steam oil and whey oil over here that I'll be giving to the club with this. So it'll be out there. There's steam oil right here, and there's whey oil. And then this is the cleaner, you know, the stuff, the treatment that goes inside the boiler. That'll all be going to the club. Okay? So I will be out there on March 7th. And again, if you guys can make it out there to see a live fire, I'm going to live fire it around 10 o'clock. Hook up some cars, take my family for a ride. That's if I make it out there on March 7th. So
Be positive.
Yeah.
hopefully the video will explain if something happens to me and I don't make it. But hopefully I will be there to make it. Okay? And then thank you guys for stepping up. I really do appreciate that. I use this stuff right here. I mean, it's called instant detail.
Okay.
And I just take a soft rag and I just dust it off.
Okay.
And then I'll throw covers over it. And again, I do have some custom covers that are coming that will fit over this whole thing. So you guys don't have to leave it uncovered. The plug for the tender, okay?
Cool.
And
You don't put any seal. You just screw this in.
you don't need
firm.
to just firm. Just turn it and get a crescent wrench on it and just give it a little crank.
Okay, perfect.
This is the pin to join the tender and the engine together. That's what that is.
Okay.
But once you do this once, you won't have to do it again.
Right.
And there's two of them in here. So in case somebody loses something. All this stuff here is just extra. See, there's an extra. I think I have two of these. Yeah, see, there's two of them there. So this is check valves. Some of the check valves have the Teflon in them. But again, if you got to work on it, rely on Don. Don's a master at this stuff. Right. Just let him do it. He's volunteered to help. He's volunteered to maintain if something goes down, if something goes wrong.
Makes sense.
Just let him do it. You know.
No,
And this is the little lighter. There's a big giant crescent wrench in here for this right here. That's for that. And there's another one in here. There's two crescent wrenches in here, but that'll disconnect that, so you can fill it up. Yeah. Okay. Because this is the gas,
Okay.
and this goes to. So here, see this bottom one down
Okay, there
there?
it is. There. Okay.
Right there.
Perfect.
See it?
Yep.
That's for that. So that goes to there, to back to that.
And that one's also left-hand thread, correct?
Yep, they're all left-hand threads.
I know that. Yeah. I know the group.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have showed you that. That's okay. There's a little button under here. If you just press the button,
Wow.
the light comes on. okay?
Okay.
And you have to press it again, dims it. If you press it again, it flashes, and then that turns it off.
I assume battery?
It is battery. I never use it because what it is, it's this all hacked up.
Okay.
Believe it or not,
Right.
this, I hacked it all up and I was able to get this all squeezed into this container. To get it open, to open this thing, see that little mark? Mm-hmm. If you take that one off, and there's another one right there, another one here, this will slide off, and you can slide the whole mechanism out and change the battery. To get this cover off, you see the mark there? That mark, this mark, are the bolts that take this cover off. There's only 8 of them. Okay?
Okay.
So you'll see those. Do you see them? Do you see the little tiny marks?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see them?
Yep.
As long as Ben can see, 'cause
Yep.
he's got better eyes than me.
I got him on video here.
Let me see here.
Yeah.
See the mark?
Oh, there it is there. Okay, I was looking in the wrong spot. Yep.
See the mark?
Yep.
And then there's one here.
Okay.
And there's one right there.
Okay.
There's only 8 of them.
And that holds a hole.
And that holds the whole thing on. So don't unscrew the ones that don't have,
Marks.
because they're dummies.
Right, okay.
That's all they are, is dummies. You could take literally a rag and just wipe it on with this stuff. If you wanted to refinish something or you want to touch it up, you could touch it up with this stuff.
Over time, it's going to need some.
At some point.
Yeah.
At some point.